Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What is an industry secret that you know? The stuff that makes movie theater popcorn taste like movie theater popcorn is called flavorcol. It's a salt-like additive that you can buy yourself and add to your popcorn at home. A carton lasts forever because you only need like a teaspoon of flavorcol per cup of kernels, and it's indistinguishable from the popcorn you get at the movies. I've had a carton for almost 2 years now, which I store in an airtight container. Every bowl one make with it makes me less excited about going to the movies. One container of excitement killer, please. Flavorcol comes in classic butter and better butter flavors. No joke, the better butter tastes better. You don't need any other seasoning, but you do add oil, dyed canola if you want the authentic experience, to the pot along with the flavorcol, of course. If you're in Canada, you can buy the same stuff as the theaters here. https://www.popcorn.ca/. More notes, you want butterfly corn kernels, not mushroom. And if you want your popcorn to be even better than the cinema, get white kernels because they don't have husks. Just last night we were playing a gig and my guitarist said he was going to show us a little trick he uses to get everyone on the dance floor. Over the mic he asked everyone to come up in front of the stage so we could get a group picture of everyone who came to the show. As soon as he got the pic we started playing and everyone stayed on the floor until the end of the set. It was great. My DJ did this at my wedding and we didn't know about it in advance. It kicked off the dance party on such a crazy note. It was amazing. Everyone danced all night. Finally a wholesome trade secret. Theater seats aren't all the same size. Some are narrower than others. We use a variety to manipulate the sawtooth arrangement so that you look through a gap between heads, not straight into the head of the person in front of you. That means some seats are better, i.e., wider, than others. Mind fucking blown. We'll investigate next time at theater. They usually range from 19-22. I try not to use less than 20 inches, but sometimes you need a couple of 19s to make it work. If you're really lucky you might find the odd 23 or 24. I work in theater, and absolutely didn't expect to find any secrets here, let alone as the top comment. This isn't always the case. Both spaces I manage have seats of all the same size, within that venue. It's less common to vary the seat sizes if the place has straight rows. Usually it happens in fan-shaped auditoria where the rows are all different lengths but the ends need to line up. The machine that injects white fluff into Twinkie operates at 37 psi. If turned up to 55, it blows the twinkle to bits and makes a big mess in the lab. I'm dying to hear how you know this. With pictures. 20 years ago, my office was adjacent to the cake lab. The lab manager liked to experiment, and we gladly participated to eat the results. Hostess has long since gone bankrupt. I have no idea what the process looks like today. A veterinarian. When your pets are hospitalized or need to stay at the clinic, unless they're aggressive, need to be monitored very carefully, or we are absolutely slammed, they are constantly getting positive attention from the staff. I've had kennel attendants and techs cuddle up with patients on their breaks. Myself and colleagues have made phone calls or typed up records while holding on to your pets. We routinely talk about how cute the patients are. In fact, it's a running joke that we would get fired immediately if we worked in human medicine, etc. And we do get attached to your pets. We know that your pet got into your weed, and we truly don't care. Seriously. Just be honest. We operate on a triage basis. Sicker things are seen first, regardless of how long others have been waiting. If you're a shitty person and you're constantly upfront complaining to staff about the wait times, the decor, why there isn't enough staff, being difficult in other ways, being dismissive to the non-doctors, and your pet is stable and has been triaged similarly to another pet that came in around the same time, we're not picking up your file until we have to. So much of my job involves giving bad news, talking to emotional people who often take out their feelings on those around them, and having to defend the costs of emergency care and surgery, that I'm not going to eagerly jump into taking a file for someone who's being difficult before they've even been spoken to. Most heartwarming information I've heard in a long time. In case it doesn't get said enough, you are good people, thank you. Is there a charity you'd recommend to support your work? Not one more vet works to prevent veterinarian suicide. They have a very high suicide rate. People can be very cruel to vets, vet techs and everyone who loves their pets and is trying to help. So much pressure. www.nomf.org. Edit. Thank you to the people who are considering donating to this worthy cause. You can also do a lot by contacting your vet's office and thanking them. It will mean a lot, especially if they had a rough day with a difficult customer or having to put down a beloved pet. You guys are the best. Don't forget, for every emotional angry person there's 10 of us who are so thankful for you and what you do. Most fitness models, coaches and influencers are using anabolic steroids or did it once at least, and among competitive bodybuilders everyone does it, but almost no one admits it. As a former competitive weightlifter, way more people use anabolic steroids than most people think. Also, that actor who got in really good shape and gained a bunch of muscle for a role. They're using steroids. Are you trying to tell me that Mark Wahlberg didn't pack on 40 pounds of muscle in 8 weeks eating baked chicken and steamed broccoli? Face with rolling eyes. And everyone looking muscled up in a Marvel movie. It's an open secret in the movie industry that part of the Marvel personal trainer and diet package includes roids. I hate seeing it in non-superhero movies though, like compare the volleyball scene in original Top Gun to the beach football scene in Maverick. The first has guys in good shape, the second has actors ridiculously roided out. It kind of works if they're supposed to be superhuman, but if it's supposed to be the real world. I remember watching the first Thor movie and then hearing that Chris Hemsworth said he had never touched a weight until something like 6 months before the movie and realizing that they were all on steroids. There was an interview with the Captain America actor and they ask him what he does for fitness and he looks embarrassed answering the questions. When you're buying a higher-end refrigerator, you're basically only paying for fancier doors. Most of the inner workings are the same, just a different door configuration. I used to work in the appliance industry. To be fair, the difference between a low-end kitchen and a high-end kitchen is mostly fancier finishes. You can spend $150 on a melamine cabinet door, or $1,500 on a handmade exotic lumber cabinet door, and they both hide your plates the same. A high-end kitchen can have higher performance features, but as a percent of overall spend those are way overshadowed by the aesthetics. The price hike between 36 inches and 48 inches fridges is crazy though. As a consumer, I absolutely agree. I don't give a shit about fancy doors or an ice maker, water dispenser, and I saved a fortune on my new fridge. Or be like me and go to outlet and get scratch and dent. Oh, dent on side of the fridge that is gonna be hidden by the wall. WHO cares. Dent on dishwasher door. I have a pet and Roomba, they will make a dent in the first week itself. Dent on washing machine. That appliance sits in laundry room and not centerpiece. Why do I care? It looks pretty. Healthcare IT is held together with duct tape and twine. Related, pay attention to the treatment release forms. Your health data is being sent everywhere and there's not shit you can do about it. No sign, no treatment. Edit, apparently it is possible to opt out of your state's health information exchange, but it must be done with the exchange itself. The process varies by state and can be painful. Healthcare IT is held together with duct tape and twine. Thank you. This is extremely common in so many different areas, at least in my experience. I assume you and the previous commenter are talking about the US, but in the UK our publicly funded National Health Service is nothing short of terrifying. I work in a more governance-focused area of security, but I come from a technical background and understand what's going on at the lower levels. I come in from one of the large professional services firms and the NHS uses us to tick a box on their verification validity metrics. The entire system is a horrible network of out-of-service systems cobbled together to tick regulatory boxes. The majority of the newer functionality I welcome as a consumer is just a completely misshapen cube placed on a circular hole as a speedy fix. I have absolutely no clue how an even gently motivated attacker has not yet taken over the entire country's health system. The security services step in extremely frequently to actively defend against attacks, but this model of funding is ridiculous. I still can't believe that the UK health agencies lost a load of COVID test data because they were sharing test records in Excel format. XLS, not XLSX, format. And the records were stored in columns, not rows. The records were stored in columns, not rows. Nah, man. Nah, shit nah, man, I believe you'd get your ass beat formatting data like that. Used to screen resumes for small companies. Job requirements are more of a wish list situation. Never let some unchecked boxes deter you from applying. You have no idea what the applicant pool is like. The biggest boon, especially at small companies, is someone who legitimately cares. Whenever I leave a job, I look for the posting for my replacement. They always have more requirements than they need. I wouldn't have qualified for my last 3 jobs. That I had been doing for years. Apply and let them figure out if you're good enough. Manager in tech, and this is right. Caveat being that you really do need the top 3 to 6 requirements, as those are probably the first thing the hiring manager is looking for, but after that it gets more flexible. In the interview though, just be honest. If the manager is at all smart, they are going to see through your bullshit and immediately count you out as a liar. Be honest, but talk through similar experience and talk about how you learn new things. I can often teach knowledge, but skills and an ability to learn, research is impossible to train. I was told during my driver training for a public bus company, if a car pulls out in front of you, causing you to slam the brakes, hit it. Let the passengers claim insurance from the car driver. If you slam the brakes, avoid the collision, the injured passengers can sue the bus company. Truck drivers aren't usually told this, but same for freight transport. Slamming the brakes or swerving swiftly can cause a mess in cargo. Then with no collision whatsoever, driver is solely responsible for the freight loss. I was straight up told to do this when it came to deer. I did one overnight route for about a year across US 20 through country and farmland areas in Indiana and Ohio. I killed at least a dozen deer in that year. I'd just call it in, make my delivery and drop off the truck to the shop. I'd get a loaner for a few days, which usually sucked because they were the ones about to be traded in.